Hi, Craig with leadershipmentor.com. So let's talk about one-on-one meetings with your team members. So the purpose of a meeting with your team members one-on-one is for career development, discovery of talents and desires. In our coaching process, we want to ask a lot of questions. So our one-on-one meeting with our team member is all about really a discovery process to start out with. So we want to find out, where do they want to go in the organization? What are some things that you think you're good at? What do you enjoy doing? So you're trying to gather kind of a picture of what it is that they really desire to do, what they enjoy doing, and what are some opportunities for them to learn new things. It's time for the team member to ask questions. So one of the things that we hear a lot is that you just don't have time to do one-on-one meetings with your team members. But what we find is that when you start to do regular one-on-one meetings with your team members, what happens is all of those impromptu questions and interruptions that you typically get during the week, those oftentimes are all held because they know they have a dedicated time with you where they can start to ask questions. And so this frees you up during the day. And then finally, to build a professional relationship. And obviously, this is just where it gives you an opportunity to discuss with them one-on-one, not only things that are important to them, but what things are important to you, what direction is the team going. So what is the strategy that we want to plan out when we're doing one-on-ones? The first thing we want to do is we always want to schedule these in advance. And our suggestion is always that you schedule those on a regular basis so every team member knows what day and what time they have a meeting with you every week or every other week, whatever interval you're able to do. We also want to make sure we conduct them in private, focused on development using coaching skills. And so we don't have a lot of time to go into coaching skills today. But when we coach, it's very different than when we just meet with somebody and we provide them with feedback, or we tell them how they're doing. Coaching involves asking a lot of questions. I've done a lot of videos on coaching skills, and I would encourage you to go back and watch some of those. But we really want to use our coaching skills in our one-on-one sessions, and we want to focus that on the development of the team member. That's really the essence of these one-on-one meetings. Conversations should flow from one session to another. So obviously, when we first start these, our coaching sessions are going to be a discovery process. We're going to ask them questions about what do they like, what do they dislike, what are their skills, where do they see themselves going in the organization. So as you build this level of knowledge about this team member, what they like doing, each week should start to look much different, but they're very connected to each other. So as you go along, you should start to be able to put together some action items together with the team member so that they're starting to do things in between your sessions where they're learning new things and they're doing the things that they really enjoy doing. And then when you get back together in your coaching sessions or your one-on-one meetings, you can start to talk about what happened, what did you like, what do you think maybe you can do better. Those are really opportunities to develop and coach your team members, and then utilize what happened in between those sessions as your topics of coaching. So just some helpful hints here. One, obviously, you want to remove all distractions. So one of the things we oftentimes see is having your computer in front of you or your cell phones. Do yourself a favor and just remove those. I mean, I'm a big fan of actually going into a separate room where you leave all of those things behind and you go behind closed doors someplace where you can just have a conversation. And by the way, if these need to be 15 minutes long and that's all the time you have, that is okay. That is very doable to spend 15 minutes and allow the team member to really talk to you and share and ask questions. 15 minutes is far better than none at all. Oftentimes what we see is if you try to do, say, 30 minutes to an hour, and you put all of your team members together and you try to do those on a regular basis, you just don't have time. So you find yourself starting to cancel meetings, and that's really the worst thing we can do. Be positive and supportive. The goal is for your team members to really look forward to this time with you. And so the way we do that is to make sure that these are positive and supportive. They know that when they come in, they're going to be positive. They're going to be things that they're going to want to talk about. They're going to get good feedback and good guidance and support on how they're doing. So we want them to be energized when they leave these meetings. We want to use good open-ended questions. So again, back to our coaching skills. Allow for their agenda items. Again, this should be their time, not yours. So I don't want you to use this time for your agenda items necessarily. This is really more for your team members. And then again, as we already talked about, it's important that we are consistent with this. When we're designing our overall communication plan with team meetings, meetings with our manager, and one-on-ones, what we want to do is make sure that we are consistent. And so if it's 15 minutes per team member every other week even, if you have a large team and you're really going to be struggling to be able to do this, then start out that way. And I think what you'll do is you'll find that you're going to be more productive and your team starts to perform better, and you actually have more free time because a lot of the work and the motivation and the training and all the guidance, All of that's being done in these one-on-one sessions. And then when you tie in that with team meetings, where you can also do other things like that with the team as a whole, you're going to find that you have a lot more available time. So just a few things to caution you on. Do not mix behavior change with coaching. So we talk about the team members wanting to look forward to this meeting. It should be positive and supportive. Doesn't mean all the time that you have to talk about only positive things. But what we don't want to do is start out the meeting and do some coaching and then end the meeting with something that's negative and you're reprimanding them. My suggestion is that we completely separate any type of reprimand away from our coaching sessions themselves. Don't use leading questions. Again, don't have time to go into the whole coaching skills, but what we don't want to do is lead the team member with questions where they're not really even open-ended questions. They're questions that you answer your own question just by asking the questions. Reschedule if you're emotionally charged. So if you're having a bad day, if there's an event that just took place, don't try to fake it through a coaching session or a one-on-one meeting with your team member. It's probably better not to do the session itself if you don't feel like you're going to be able to do it in a positive and productive way. So that's it on our one-on-one meetings. I hope you found that helpful. I want to encourage you to take a look at being able to do your one-on-one meetings with your team members. Get into the habit of doing them. Start out slow, make them short if need be, and then just focus on being consistent. Build your coaching skills. Figure out how you can encourage and guide them each and every week. And I think you're going to find that you don't have to spend so much time doing training and trying to motivate people necessarily, because you're going to be able to do those things in these one-on-one sessions. So I hope you found that helpful. I want to encourage you to go over to our website and join our community. Click on the community link and join our community and get involved with like-minded people where we can learn and grow together. So hope you have a great week. Take care.